great.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, thanks to everyone for being here. I imagine maybe some other folks will join in as we get started, but this will be recorded and we plan to share it on social media and also upload it on our YouTube channel. So this should be accessible, hopefully, for folks that can't join as well. But yeah, I am excited to see you all and want to introduce Barbara Ransom, who's on the call today, who is helping direct an ongoing opportunity to merge the geosciences and public health research and build opportunities for collaboration between these two kind of like fields, using a new opportunity, a new funding opportunity that NSF is providing to help supplement existing NSF funding, specifically for graduate students who have completed at least 1 year in their graduate program and who are looking to gain more experience at the intersection of environmental science, geoscience, and public health. So I'm going to turn it over to Barbara to expand on this NSF opportunity, and then we will open it up for additional questions at the end.
Hey, great.
Barbara, take it away.
Yeah, thanks, Mitra. Really appreciate it. And I want to introduce my colleague, Doug Kowalewski, who is here. He's also from the National Science Foundation, and we both are involved in something called the GeoHealth Intern Opportunity. So I'm going to tell you about how it works and what we're looking for and how you can be successful and why you might want to actually get into this. So let me share my screen and then we'll move forward here. So here it is. This is an opportunity that NSF has come up with to try to expand kind of the areas of geoscience that really could have higher impact. And so the health field is one that is really important to, the quality of life and well-being on the planet. And also many things that happen inside the human body are triggered by environmental factors. And who owns the environment? We do, the geoscientists. We know all things about transport. We know about what goes on in the transformation of various compounds and particulate matter in the environment. And we know the sources of things. And so the thing is that we can tell what happens on the outside of the body, whereas people in public health and in the medical profession know what goes on inside the body. And so to combine these two elements together is really quite powerful. And we want to try to move more geoscientists to get involved with medical professionals because it has a number of important factors to it. Not only is it just a good thing to do because, a lot of people in the medical profession do want to have expertise from geoscientists or be able to access some of the kinds of tools and things that we can do to help them understand the environment and its impacts on the human people. And so also, as we all know, there is a big decline in enrollments in the geosciences. And one way that could be productive for geoscience fields is to start to embrace the medical aspects of what it is that we do. So NSF is stepping into the breach here, and we've created an internship opportunity for graduate students called INTERN, and I'm going to tell you some things about it. Let me go to the next slide here. So really, what this is, these are internships for supplements to active NSF awards coming out of the geosciences that are to allow graduate students to have health-related internships with host organizations that are, like I said, non-academic. And it's up to $55K and up to 6 months, where a student would work on site at some public health or medical entity and work with that host so that they get a full-bodied, real-world experience doing research that is related to whatever their NSF award was. International students here are okay. I know there are a lot of opportunities that come out of various federal agencies where they're not, but we allow international students to be funded through this intern opportunity. It provides money for travel, tuition fees, health insurance, gives them a stipend, relocation costs, whatever it is to allow them to have a great experience to really see what the real world of work is and what the research questions are that really pertain to the kind of career that they want to have. In the National Science Foundation, about 250 of these, not GeoHealth interns, but of interns in general, are supported each year. So it's a very powerful program that a lot of students get to benefit from. And it's very easy because there's no merit review for these supplements. Basically, if there's a professor who's got a student who wants to do one, and the professor has an active award, NSF can just, find out what it is. If it fits the criteria for the intern call, then we can just push the money in through the parent award. Now, we don't intend intellectual property to happen from some of these, but sometimes it does. And so NSF actually waives its right to any IP, intellectual property. And so, but there must be an agreement between the host organization and the university that the student is a student at. And that's because NSF doesn't want to get involved in any kind of IP agreements, and we don't care what that statement has in it, just that there is one so that both entities understand what the rules are. So let's take a look at the benefits of intern. For graduate students, it's access to real-world, health-focused work experience. For hosts, they get to mentor and access talent that has geoscience and environmental expertise that they might need for whatever health issue that they're working on. Could be particulate matter from wildfire smoke, could be heat indexes, could be transmission of toxic chemicals in the environment or microbes. It could be any number of things. For us at the National Science Foundation, what it does is it expands geoscience's utility and contributions into the health and the medical fields, and trying to accelerate the collaboration between geoscientists and medical health professionals. For universities, this gives you new avenues to entice students into socially relevant geoscience fields. Just think of all those pre-med majors that are out there that never actually make it to medical school. Some of them may want to become geoscientists because then they can work closely with medical and health professionals to actually do the kinds of things that they want to do to improve society and people's lives. So host organizations can be anything as long as they're medical or health related. So it could be working on Superfund sites, could be health related startups and entrepreneurs, government agencies and national laboratories also, or NGOs. People that are doing, or companies that are doing environmental contamination and remediation, biomed companies, there's hospitals, public health centers, there's a number of different things that students could be involved in. So engineering, the Directorate of Engineering at NSF actually started the intern program. And the GeoHealth intern that the Geosciences is now implementing is similar to that, but I want to show you just what the impact is, at least from an engineering perspective, where this has been going on for a number of years now. There have been many awards that have been made in the intern category, and you can see that 29% of those in the engineering field went to small firms, 35% went to government agencies or national labs, and 36% went to large firms, like Amazon or IBM. And what you can see is you can actually see the numbers of the type of entity over here on the right-hand side in terms of the interest that those entities had in actually involving NSF awarded graduate students internships at their site. So here's just some examples of some of the organizations that have had these people come and be interns with them. And you can see there's a whole suite of different kinds of organizations, from Microsoft to Amgen, Boeing, Bristol Myers Squibb, lots, IBM. So the student can really get into the world of work that is related to their thesis research. And many times the students' research actually is related to whatever their internship is to do. So let's take a look at the intern portfolio of things that we have at the National Science Foundation. We have the NSF sort of generic intern, and there's the link to it. And about $12 million a year goes out the door to fund these internships on top of other, their advisors' NSF award. We also have an intern portfolio with the Air Force. And this is to go to Air Force Research Labs, also known as AFRL. And they actually give us $1 million a year of money from Air Force to actually send graduate students to these labs to work with the scientists there on research projects. Same thing at Department of Energy. We have one which is also $1 million a year for internships in the area of geothermal. We are now in negotiation also with Army and with the Office of Naval Research, who are also negotiating similar types of agreements that DOE and Air Force have. Now, GEO is now starting to get into the intern activity with regard to building a workforce in GeoHealth. And you can see we have a link to the Dear Colleague letter that you probably have seen if you're watching this video. And we had $500,000 for 2023 to spend, which looks like we're going to probably make that. And we will probably hope to engage other health federal agencies. We're talking to them right now to see if they would also like to join the Air Force and DOE and maybe Army and ONR by also funding GeoHealth internships. So here is just an example of what the Air Force was thinking about students that were doing internships there. Timothy Bunning, who's like one of their big heads there, said, "We see this partnership as a real win-win for AFRL and NSF because it aligns with the strategic workforce development goals of both organizations." And really, this is about showing students that there are all kinds of interesting opportunities out there for employment, as well as research problems that are out there that are use-inspired, which means that it's not applied research, it's still basic research, but it's basic research that somebody actually can do something with in the short term. And we've already gotten about $2 million from AFRL to fund various interns for their labs. And about 47 interns have actually gone on these kinds of internships from 29 different universities. So this is the kind of thing that we're hoping we can generate with these GeoHealth interns. So let's take a look at some survey results. 77% of the interns who went there said it was really a great benefit for their graduate research. About half of them plan to modify their graduate scope and increasing the breadth and the depth of it using some of the new techniques that they learned during their internship. Close to 70% of the interns gained new perspectives that led them to consider different career alternatives that they had not previously considered. Over 3/4 of the interns received additional job training prior to and during the internship, which is awesome. And students ranked their training experience in this order: technical skills, safety, communication, ethics, career development, and then intellectual property and leadership management skills. Over 85% of all interns responded that their advisor initiated the discussion with the host organization. So this is sort of how it works. If you're a graduate student, you need to talk to your advisor, show them this Dear Colleague letter, and then say, "Hey, do we know anybody? Do you know anybody where I might be able to do one of these internships?" Or you can be an entrepreneurial yourself and find a place that might actually host you as an intern. Most students met their host mentors at least one or more times a week, and 1/4 of them actually worked with their mentors daily. Close to 60% of them plan to publish their work because this is use-inspired research that you'll be doing, not applied work. And use-inspired work is basic science and knowledge creation, and it can be published and should be published. And actually 15% of all of the students involved in the program actually generated intellectual property, also known as IP. And so that's like patents, licensing, invention disclosures, those kinds of things. So these can be really powerful opportunities to really go beyond the academic sort of side of things and into actually being able to contribute to society and the economy. Now, most students said the experience really exceeded their expectations. And you know what? We're going to show a video at the very end of this presentation that really takes this home, where students who actually participated in the program and their mentors and their advisors are interviewed and can tell you firsthand the advantages and the benefits that this really gave, not just to their student, but to the advisors research program too. 80% of everybody who was involved in the intern program really recommended it. So here's some testimonials from some students. And you can read these, and they're actually quite inspiring. One of them said, you know, I remember the first moment I got to operate and send commands to a full humanoid robot. Having such a complex system able to be controlled by software that I was working on and understood was a very cool experience and motivational to learn how to design such robotic systems. You know, there are other ones here that you can see. One I think that is really great is this was an incredible opportunity to observe current standard of care and make connections with many clinicians and researchers. My intern led to a job offer. I recently accepted a position to lead this Fortune 500 firm's rehabilitation research program upon graduation. So, you know, a lot of these internships become talent scouting for people that these companies may want to hire in the future, because they get to work closely with the student for up to 6 months and really see what they can bring to the table. Lastly, you know, I had a wonderful time at the host organization, got hands-on training from my mentors and others in the group in multiple instruments and software. I was able to broaden my knowledge regarding materials and infrastructure and application. I was able to include the research conducted during my internship into my dissertation. So in summary, intern basically is a $60 million investment by NSF into graduate students to date. And it started in about 2017. And since that time, about 1,400 students have done internships, and we're hoping that the GeoHealth internship is going to start to generate a lot of interest and activity on the part of graduate students that are in the geosciences now. Many of them find it a life-changing add-on opportunity to any NSF award. But like I said, there's more to do, especially with regard to bringing the health profession and the geosciences closer together. So what we're trying to do is expand these partnerships, as you saw, to other federal agencies. And it's important to really increase the awareness and use of intern across NSF and actually make it known to the science and the engineering communities that, hey, this is a fantastic opportunity and it's available to your students. You just have to ask for it. We also want to have greater sharing of the intern value by those who have actually participated in it in terms of how it's impacted their career and their career options. And you'll be able to see some of that in the video that we're going to show shortly. So I'll let Josh run this, but in just 1 minute, because what I want to do before we get into that is that if you have any questions on the GeoHealth intern opportunity, feel free to contact me or my colleague that I introduced at the beginning, Doug Kowalewski, and we'd be happy to tell you more about it and let you know what kind of documentation is required and how you can access this. So Josh, let me stop my share. And will you be able to bring up the intern video for us, please? Oh, this is great.
The NSF Intern Program providing graduate students immersive internship experiences outside of academia.
Through this internship at Boeing, I gained a better understanding of the challenges that Boeing faces when it comes to manufacturing aerospace parts, which gives me a better idea of how to implement my research in piezo spectroscopy to meet industry needs.
This was not just significant for her own professional and scientific goals, but also for the students that she mentors here at UCF.
Today, the majority of master's and PhD degree holders in STEM work in industry or government, not in academia.
The NSF intern program aligns perfectly with our goal to expand experiential learning for our graduate students while supporting the needs of our industry partners.
It does that by supporting research-focused internships at a diverse spectrum of host organizations in industry, small business, the nonprofit sector, mostly government research labs.
At the CDC, I was able to work alongside leading researchers in the public health arena, tackling urgent problems relevant to both the CDC's more applied mission and my own fundamental research.
I've been working with the Cape Cod Commercial Fishermen's Alliance,
at the Army Corps of Engineers,
At the USGS,
at Los Alamos National Laboratory,
the Upstate Freshwater Institute, a small local science-based not-for-profit organization.
And the program benefits academic institutions and host organizations too.
It's been a great experience for us in terms of developing better connections with faculty and also opportunity to explore future research collaborations with local university.
That was also good for our lab because we expanded our collaboration and extended our research in different directions.
Through the project, we developed a collaborative research program on manufacturing with the GM researchers.
I was able to gather both technical and organizational skills needed to develop me further in my career.
work with many different types of scientists in industry.
So I really had an opportunity to learn about the technical difficulties of scaling up
and to apply the new techniques that I developed in the lab to real industrial problems.
I've learned so much over the past 4 months, and I'm really looking forward to the next 2 months of my program here.
And so overall, this grant has really allowed me the opportunity to learn a lot of things that I feel like I would not have learned without collaborating with industry.
My appointment at the CDC not only significantly shortened the time for current research to move from concept to completion, but also inspired many new research questions at the crossroads of fluid mechanics and biology, questions that I hope to answer in my own lab one day.
I wish all of my students get some kind of industrial exposure during grad school. I really thank the NSF and the intern program for making this happen.
Thanks. So there you have it. That's how the GeoHealth intern program will work as well. And it'll be super beneficial for those involved, both at the faculty level, at the student level, and also for the host organizations that want to actually participate in this. So if we have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Just let me know.
Susan, go for it.
Great. Thank you so much for this overview of the program. I just had a couple of questions. Are there any restrictions on the field of study for the students coming into this? And specifically for the GeoHealth opportunity, could a student in a public health program apply?
Okay, the GeoHealth intern opportunity right now is for awards that come out of the geosciences. However, we hope that when we have some negotiations with other health-oriented agencies, that they'll be willing to also join us, and then we could open it up to all of NSF. So it doesn't matter what your background would be, that you could come in if it's linked, if the project you want to work on with the host is linked with your with the NSF award of your advisor and the research that you're doing. So in terms of the host of the organization, the host organization needs to be something that's in either the public health or the medical profession, and it has to be non-academic. So we don't want to plug you into another academic situation, but we want to have it be non-academic so that it's the full, real world work experience and working closely with the health and the medical professionals.
Great, thank you. So just to follow up, as long as the NSF grant is coming from the Geosciences Directorate, the field of study for the student working on that grant is more open than that. It could be inclusive of somebody doing a say a PhD in environmental health?
Yes, if the award that's being, okay, the supplement has to be tied to an NSF award. So the work that has to be related to the NSF award that comes out of the Director of Geosciences, at least for now. And so we don't care what the student does, you know, as long as they're associated with that NSF award that came out of the geosciences, and that could be Earth, atmosphere, ocean, polar, you know, any of those areas would be good, because really it's to link up geoscientists and people that are doing geoscience work, regardless of what their, you know, expertise is. You know, those are the people that we want to hook up closer to the medical profession and the health profession. Any other questions? Okay, this sounds good. And we'll be in touch. Doug and I are both available to respond to any of your questions that you want to follow up on. Please access the NSF GEO Intern opportunity, and that will be available online. And you can read the instructions there. And if you have any questions, just call us. We're ready to help. Thanks.
Lovely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Barbara, for giving us a great overview. Yeah. Awesome. Take care, everyone. Thank you.
Ciao.
Thank you. Bye-bye.